having a good time, saying F Trump. And I mean, that's cool and all, but where was the message? Like, what was the goal? Was the goal just to be seen? Cause then y'all sound like, I ain't gonna lie, then y'all sound like a needy girlfriend at that point. Or a needy partner.
Set up a phone chain and have them volunteering in 2028. What now? And yes, the energy and the activism and enthusiasm, like you said, it's American and it's wonderful. But if people really care, even if it's not about those two races, like today, like literally today on Monday, are people just still cleaning up the signs they made, or what's next?
It's a fair point. I wonder what you think, Mo.
No, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Just make sure you're walking and chewing gum. I don't disagree with that, right? 7 million people around the country, many of whom are not close to New Jersey, not close to Virginia, desperate for an outlet to show their disapproval with this president and his policies and his actions. The fact that they came together was fantastic. Now, what do you do with that energy moving forward is a key question. I also think that the president keeps giving them a reason to mobilize, not just with his actions, but we all remember, it wasn't that long ago, that the Republican Party ran an entire campaign against Hillary Clinton for using the word deplorables to describe some Trump voters.
Yeah.
And politically, that was a smart thing for them to do. This president and this speaker.
I mean, Biden kind of did the same thing on his way out, and he kind of sunk it for Kamala Harris. I mean, it's funny. Biden did a whole lot of sabotaging. Like, I think Biden knew what he was doing. Biden, bro, they was mad. They kicked him out. They pushed him out, and that was his double middle finger to the whole administration. All right, cool. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna have some questionable interviews, and then I'm gonna go out there and completely tank Kamala Harris's chances by. What did he call the MAGA supporters? I'm trying to remember. It was something. It wasn't deplorables, but it was something close to that. That it was like highly controversial. And I think it was like 2 weeks before the election. He said that BS.
And their allies are saying anyone who disapproves, anyone that showed up, and we all saw a lot of those protesters, little old ladies standing on street corners waving signs, are un-American and deserve to have excrement dropped on their heads, as the president showed in that AI video.
Hey, it could have been chocolate ice cream, man. Chill.
Right? If Democrats can actually use that to harness some of the same energy that Republicans did back in 2016.
I mean, yeah, it's a good strategy. The thing is, Gavin Newsom is doing it already, and he's failing. The problem is, though, if somebody different other than Gavin Newsom, who's not a complete failure. I mean, get you somebody who's not a complete failure as a politician, and trust me, it'll work. It'll work. Like, man, look, sometimes I think I need to be a campaign manager for the Democratic Party, like, because that's how y'all gonna get it done. Y'all need S.E.T as y'all campaign manager. Go ahead, man. Send me the contract, bro. I'm gonna make sure y'all win in 2028. Don't worry. We gonna get y'all right. Unless y'all got Zoran, then y'all just cooked. If y'all got Zoran and AOC, I can't help y'all, though. I'm not even gonna doom myself like that. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get some of the guys up here to comment on this. All right, guys.
I want to read something first. I do want to read something that's factual before we get started doing anything else. Constitutional and statutory authority of the president. I'm going to run through these real quick. This is over the usage of the National Guard. Congress. The Constitution grants Congress the power to provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrection, and repel invasions. Article 1, Section 8. President as Commander-in-Chief. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, including the National Guard, and has a duty to, quote, take care that the laws are being fully executed. Article 2, Section 3. Insurrection Act. The laws provide most explicit authority for the president to call forth the National Guard to combat insurrection, domestic violence, and invasion to enforce laws. Here's the real important one. The important ones, I should say. Federal control. Under federal control, Title 10, the president can federalize the National Guard and deploy them domestically, often for specific federal purposes like protecting federal property or enforcing laws. The role of the state governors. In most cases, the governors must, not may, not shall, must consent to the federalization of their state's National Guard as they remain the primary commander. Exceptions The president can federalize the National Guard without Gerber National, meaning the primary custodial state, consent in certain situations, particularly when the state governor is unable or unwilling to restore order and federal law enforcement is unable to execute the law. The District of Columbia National Guard is an exception, as it is under the president's direct command at all times.
What you mean, man? What you mean, backyard? They're just the Gestapo.
Those are the constitutional boundaries. So anybody that says, "Hold up,"
are you admitting that Trump is unable to enforce laws? He's on.
No, the governors in the states in which he's deploying the National Guard are unable to. That's what he just read, Sid. Pay attention.
Yes, and let me stop, because there's more behind that. So to put a nice, pretty bow on what I just read from the Constitution and Congress's own letterhead, basically, Trump is acting well within the boundaries of what a president is supposed to do as commander-in-chief. And since the National Guard is a part of the Department of Defense, he is also acting within the boundaries of commander-in-chief of a military wartime commander. So he is not stepping outside of his roles. Oregon governor refuses to call law and order to Oregon where they're having the issues at, and Trump is stepping in. In Illinois, I'm from St. Louis. Chicago ain't that far. I can tell you from a heartbeat that Chicago is having the National Guard stepped in because Chicago's out of control. St. Louis is the same way. The mayor here in St. Louis, Missouri, won't let the state step in, so now the president has to step in. And the same thing happened with D.C.
I'll tell you right now, St. Louis not having National Guard deployed there. Chicago is still on stay.
How are you gonna tell me? And I live in St. Louis, and there are National Guards here. Like what? What are you talking about?
He's just talking out of his ass. Don't pay him too much mind.
Yes or no that the president has deployed National Guard in St. Louis?
He's gonna ask the Siri versus a person who lives in the city. That's crazy.
I'm asking you, brother.
Oh, well, yeah, I just told you. National Guard's in St. Louis. What more do you want?
It's just not. It just doesn't get wall-to-wall coverage because it's not. It goes against the narrative that he's not deploying the National Guard to red states.
Deployed by President Trump, National Guard in St. Louis.
Oh my God.
Yes, they're deployed to East St. Louis, North St. Louis, West St. Louis, which are the three hotspots for crime, sex trafficking, murder, and gang violence. Next question.
All right.
Just concede. I'm not. I just concede.
Again, I live in this state. You are not. I live in this state, and I live.
All right, guys. We do gotta let him respond. So, Sid, do you have him respond to that, or do you concede? Sid.
I don't concede.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Well,
All right. So, what you gotta say then? Go ahead and. All right. So, what's your argument? The son told me he wasn't going to concede the argument.
What's up, Set? By the way.
Hey man, what's good, Monty? Shoot, shout out my man Monty.
My argument is Donald Trump has not officially deployed National Guard to St. Louis. I mean,
what the fuck is he?
Bro, look it up.
What?
Bro, hey, Sid. Hey, Sid. Instead of looking things up on Google, why don't you take a first-hand account of somebody that just told you he is?
How about we look it up right now?
Buddy. Okay.
Dude, we'd all know if...
Go ahead. Look it up. Go to the DOD's website.
About it just like Memphis. That would have been talking about it just like Memphis. National Guard deployed to St. Louis. Are you driving again, fucking Monty? Jesus Christ.
Will you shut up?
Let's see here.
St. Louis National Guard. In late September 2025, Missouri Governor Mike Coho authorized about 15 members of the state's National Guard to report to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement with administrative, clerical, and logistical duties.
Wait, who did? The governor?
Oh yeah, the governor.
Oh, that's not Trump, right?
Wow, so it's almost like a Republican governor is stepping in, so the president doesn't have to, Sid, like he just read.
No, he said Trump deployed them, dumbass.
Okay, so he got one. He got so you're gonna hang your hat on.
Wait. Let me clarify this. Governor Mike Coho is weighing a request from Trump administration to deploy the state's National Guard. So again, I was basically right, and that's off of.
He's weighing it.
So what is your point? What is your point, Sid? That the president can't do it? He just said he could.
No,
the Constitution says he can.
Dude, shut the fuck up. My point is that the president didn't do it. Do you disagree? Yes or no?
Oh my fucking
Don't veer off.
What are we talking about right now?
Bro, I think the argument is that, all right, so did Trump actually send them, or was it the governor who sent them?
If it's the governor, even better. That goes to our point even more. That when states fail to act, the president steps in. And let's go in your fucking fairy tale land, because there is, according to him, there are National Guard fucking deployed in the cities. And according to you, Trump didn't do it. The governor did it. That goes to his point. When the states don't act, then it is the federal government's responsibility to act. And that's what's happening. And that's what you have a problem with. You don't have a problem with St. Louis because you said, why doesn't he do it in St. Louis? Then when someone pointed out that it is being done in St. Louis, you're like, well, why didn't Trump do it? Well, because the governor's doing it. Like, what do you want, Sid?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That is literally the entire conversation that has been going on.
Unlike you, I agree with federal. I like federalism and I like states' rights. So yeah, if a governor
Bud, fuck federalism. We have a constitution. You say he's doing unconstitutional things. We're pointing out how it's constitutional. Like get over it. You lost the debate. You lost the argument. You lost your credibility. Just move on and stop making yourself look stupider.
Wait, and I'm going to respond to somebody in chat. It says, Dwayne Dillard, you're about as close to Chicago as California. St. Louis ain't Chicago. How you get your knowledge of what's going on in Chicago? You live in another state. Yeah, but St. Louis geographically is really close to Chicago.
St. Louis is like, what, 2 hours away from Chicago?
It's like 3 if you're driving slow.
3, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I've only driven through St. Louis and Chicago, so I only know like the difference between the superchargers.
Right. One's illegal and one's bullet riddle.
Cool. Okay, is he doing it or is he not, Monty?
What'd you say?
Is Trump doing it or is he not in St. Louis?
I don't know. I'm going off of what you're saying. I'm using your argument and making a point off of it.
What was my argument?
Your argument is that Trump's not doing it in Missouri, and my point is, what's the point? What does it matter if Trump's doing it or not? If he is doing it, he's exercising his constitutional authority. If he's not, the state is exercising their responsibility.
The other guy that was talking said he was. So my point was, no, he wasn't.
No, your point is that Trump can't do it. That's what it goes back to, is you think Trump can't do it.
I'm sorry, little bro, but I can make my own point for myself.
That's what you literally said. That's why he was up here reading the Constitution to you, because you have it in your head. So do many people on the left, that Trump is being unconstitutional by doing it. That is the whole crux.
Now, before we continue, there's more that I want to read. President,
can you do it in 1 minute? Because then we're gonna move on.
Yeah, I can knock this out in 1 minute. Presidential powers during a crisis. In the time of crisis, the president can use their authority to federalize the National Guard in a time of crisis when local authorities are unable to restore order or when federal laws cannot be enforced. Limits. The president's power is not unlimited. The Supreme Court has stated that courts may intervene if the president acts in bad faith, exceeds his or her authority, or makes an obvious mistake, such as defending a federal piece. Basically, they list that if they're saying that they need to go and defend like a federal building and there's no reason to defend it, or they're deploying National Guard and there's no reason to deploy the National Guard. it's basically a blunder. And at that case, the governor and the courts can intervene and be like, what the world are you doing?
All right, guys. Now hold on here. But for Sid, I'm gonna let you respond, but I'm gonna let you solely respond for a good 2 minutes. But let me get the super chat out the way. The guard, let's see here. The guard is in Memphis, Tennessee, LOL. And you should see what the people of Memphis are happy. Well, yeah, you should see the people of Memphis are happy because their kids can be outside. And that was shout out to Tristan Allen. And Tristan Allen, that was meant for Sid because he said, read my message to Sid. Now, Sid, I'll go ahead and give you a good 3 minutes to go ahead and respond because, you didn't really get that much of a chance. So go ahead, dog.
Okay. Well, thanks for reading that statute and proving my point. In Chicago, they are still barred from deploying the National Guard. In Portland, via the Ninth Circuit, they aren't, and the National Guard can be deployed. But I do have a direct call out to Monty, who allegedly hates me and hates talking to me. I've been up here for a little bit now, and you chose to join and chose to come up here and start talking to me. So, what's the deal with that?
All right. Well, we'll get into that later, my man. But all right, though. Let's go ahead and get right back into the video. And shout out to Tristan Allen because I'll play this short little clip before we get into the next video because this is somebody in Memphis, pretty much highlighting the fact that Trump's doing a pretty good job.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's true time. I was against pretty much everything that was coming towards Memphis. I was against this National Guard, all these different police units, all this military, all this. I was against all this shit coming to the end, right? Especially when I was the one learning shit about Memphis and how the crime been down 25% than it has in like hella years and shit. Like Memphis been doing good. We just had the most peaceful summer in a long little time. Just for these folks to still come with this shit. I was against this shit, bro. And then I seen the numbers after the first week of rounding up niggas. These folks then got 16 convicted murderers off the streets in 1 week. Black people. I know there's a lot of Memphis folks talking about all the niggas gone now and they over here, the police pulling over all the good hard-working people. Hey, if that was the case, I'm sorry. But I can't wholeheartedly say they doing a bad thing now that I just seen them numbers, bro. I'm gonna just be honest. And I'm a real Memphis nigga. I love my city. I love once again, nigga, this where I'm at. As I wait on the motherfucking bus, I'm in the heart of this shit. I love this shit. But I would be lying if I ain't just read them numbers and say, damn, that's a good thing for Memphis. So,
yeah. I mean, look, man, when they said they dropped it by 25, National Guard came in, they dropped it by 50, by 55. So they went ahead and added 30% more on it. Because trust me, the National Guard working faster than the police. And they come with just a little bit more force for those gangs. And, those killers out there on warrants. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the next video.
All right, John, thank you. Former Biden Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, meanwhile, turning on the Dems in her new memoir, writing, quote,
oh, yeah, and shout out to my man Tristan Allen. Because he said, and Tennessee is a red state. So says Trump, don't deploy to red state so saying Trump don't deploy to red states is wild. It is. I mean, he's also trying to go into New Orleans. And where's that? Louisiana, a red state. Actually, what Trump did was pretty smart by just saying, you know what, since you guys want to cry about, me coming to fix your high crime cities in blue states, which, these high crime areas are also run by, Democratic mayors as well. Let me go ahead and take it to the red states in their high crime cities who just happen to have Democratic mayors.
Biden seemed to be totally at peace
or Democrat mayors
with his decision to drop out of the race. But I was stunned. My feelings a blur. I was angry and sad. I was enraged and heartbroken that this.
Oh, wow. The press secretary literally is coming out kind of covering her ass, and it's actually hilarious.
I was stunned. My feelings a blur. I was angry and sad. I was enraged and heartbroken that this man had given more than 50 years of his life to serving the American people. And in the end, he's been treated poorly by members of his own party. It was horrible. You know what? I'm going to become an independent. I don't think I can stomach being in the Democratic Party anymore. Let's bring in former Biden Deputy Cabinet Secretary Dan Coe is joining us now. Dan, welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So are you buying what Karine Jean-Pierre is selling?
Look, in terms of the Democratic Party, this weekend was a good analogy. I saw Democrats, Republicans, independents who were protesting in the millions against a president who is trying to silence us. And the analogy was apt when the president uploaded a video of himself in a king hat.
So Dan, so are you going to answer the question?
Yes, I will, but please give me a moment. Literally,
he's like, yeah, give him a moment. He needs to explain how outraged he is before he answers your question.
Defecating on people exercising their right to free speech.
I don't think it was literally.
A constitutional right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
and that is Dan,
let's go back to the question and stick to the point.
Yes.
Are you buying what Karine Jean-Pierre is selling? That she had no view of President Biden's decline?
I can't speak to what she saw. What I can speak to, though, is I'm not buying the idea that we should leave the Democratic Party, because I saw a Democratic Party that was energized this weekend. That is.
We ain't saying leave the Democratic Party. We want you guys just to run to the center left and not stay over there on the radical far left. That's all we want y'all to do. Y'all ain't got to come over here, but y'all definitely got to get away from the radical loons over there.
Fighting against taking away people's health care. And I was proud of the party, and I was proud of our country this weekend.
Okay, so.
And shout out to my man Tristan Allen. He says the Democratic mayors don't give a care about Americans. Look at the people from West Chicago asking for help, and that mayor's not doing anything. Yeah, Brandon Johnson is an absolutely terrible mayor and a race betrayer. And honestly, you know what? I could damn near say what he did is treason, seeing that he did give taxpayer money to basically letting illegals, as these illegals ran rampant on the city of Chicago, breaking into apartment complexes and projects and just taking over rooms. The man just sat there and just counts his hundreds, you know, wherever the hundreds came from, and most likely was our government.
Did you personally witness his decline while you were in the White House?
This is what I saw, and I was in charge of hurricane response for the president in many ways. I was in the White House and the Oval Office with him when he was on the phone with the mayor of Canton, North Carolina, population 5,000, for 20 minutes, talking at length about what that mayor needed. Was Joe Biden old? Absolutely he was. But the care and attention.
What does that mean?
He reminded you of your grandfather. And he did for me.
I don't know what that means. Just tell me.
I will tell you. Did he walk a little slower than he used to? Did he talk a little slower than he used to? Absolutely. But I never once doubted his ability to be the president and where his values were. And you contrast that.
Yeah, you know, bro, that's not a good look, though. Like, the president shouldn't remind me of my senile grandfather. I mean, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe my grandfather in their youth. But like I said, I mean, you're talking about a senile old man past 80 who wasn't really able to complete a sentence or a thought. So, yeah, I'm wondering, did y'all really not know? Come on now. Some of y'all just looked away and pretend that y'all didn't know because, you know, F Trump. I mean, look, hey, man, TDS makes you delusional. It is what it is. Oh, yeah, and shout out my man Tristan. Now you have a Discord I can join. Oh, bro, just join the membership. You can go ahead and get in on it. And also, like, the call-in line is open. You can also hop in on this one as well. Just go to the main page, go to the post tab. You'll see the call-in link right there.
With President Trump, who wouldn't even call Tim Walz when Rep. Melissa Hortman was assassinated. And to me, that's disgraceful.
Do you believe he has mental decline now?
I do not. And I saw very clearly in the Oval Office a president who had his values straight and who I was proud to serve.
Okay. So this is a brand new interview. Karine Jean-Pierre, she is out there selling her book, and she appeared on CBS. She was talking about being, as you were, a part of Biden's inner circle and in the White House. She is making the case that she did not see that decline, and many are wondering how that can possibly be the case. Watch here.
You said you're a member of the inner circle and you never saw the decline.
And shout out to my man Vlad Steen. He says, so was Beetlejuice. It's a plague. All right, I'll give you that one. That's fine. And shout out to, let's see here. Oh, yeah, Tristan said, yeah, you have a Discord I can join. Like I said, you can join the membership. I believe you can join the membership like the same way super chatting in. You can just go on my page. You can join the membership from there. And shout out to my man Monty. He says, excuse me. They knew and they liked it. They could have used the power to do whatever they wanted. I mean, and that's also facts. And shout out to the supporters. All right, when this video ends, I'm about to bring some of you guys up so we can go ahead and talk about the topic.
Fine. And after that, I wrote, how?
Yep.
You even write, Karine, that you were on the plane with him going to the debate and you didn't see anything.
Well, when we
So
were
hard
on
to
Air
understand.
Force One going to the debate, you got to remember his campaign people were on the team, his family was on the team. I actually was one of those rare trips that I didn't really see him until after the debate, even though I was on the plane. So really, I want everybody to know that I take this question incredibly seriously. I do. I was his White House press secretary, which means I had a role that saw him practically every day and traveled with him
And you saw nothing.
for more than 95%. We've always said, we're not going to say, oh, he didn't age. He aged. And he poked fun at it. We always owned up. And with age comes what happens when you get older.
Which is?
But when we talk about the mental acuity, and again, I take this very, very seriously. I never saw anyone who wasn't there. I saw someone who was always engaged. I saw someone who understood policy, pushed us on the policy, and also understood history.
And as part of this tour, I mean, she continues to slam Democrats and your party.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these Dems. It's like Jake Tapper, Kamala Harris, this woman now, the ex-press secretary. Like, they're all coming out with tell-all books, and they all paint the Dems in bad light. It's like y'all are literally turning on yourselves. I mean, Kamala done said some stuff that exposed the Dems. So did this lady, and so did, what was that first woman's name? Oh, well, somebody will tell me in the chat. But it does, Jake Tapper. No, I'm not even a woman. Jake Tapper, yes. It does seem like you guys are writing books and exposing yourselves. And I'm just thinking, I'm just sitting back here like, you know, like, I hope nobody says anything to them while they just self-destruct themselves. I know they're trying to get a book deal, but thank you for, you know, making this book while also crashing your party into the ground. But appreciate the tell-all book, but you're definitely crashing your party into the ground.
To the point where she said she's left the party. I mean, how do you respond to her?
Look, I can't speak for what Karine feels, but as I say, under Joe Biden, drugs, for the first time, we were able to negotiate the price of prescription drugs. Hearing aids were cheaper. We had cleaner drinking water.
I didn't ask for you to speak for her feelings. I asked, how do you respond to the shot she's taking at your party?
I say that I am proud of the values and what we accomplished as a Democratic Party under the Biden administration. And when you contrast with the fact that currently many people in this country are about to see their premiums go up by over $10,000, I think the contrast is clear for the American people.
Would you have done anything differently while you were serving in that White House?
It's crazy.
I am proud.
And shout out my man Monty, says Sid is calling me names. I'd appreciate not being called being called a bitch, which is wild. I thought we were supposed to be respectful or we get kicked. I mean, the best I can say is I think if he's not try to let you and Sid kind of try to mellow out, like just try to mellow out for a good 10 minutes as I bring you guys on here to debate this. He's like, yeah, Jean admitted to a friend she barely saw Biden. Exactly. And now she's all, and she wrote it in her book too, Tristan. She wrote it in the book. It's like they're literally exposing themselves in their tell-all books. And it's like, I mean, are you for your party or not? That's almost what I want to ask. I mean, like, while writing this book, did you even think to yourself, like, this might not look good on my fellow party members? Like, this might like low-key sink us. Nope, not think that one bit. They kept it going, kept writing. Oh man, at least it was filled with gossip, right?
Proud to have served an administration that were fighting for working people, the most worker-friendly administration in history, versus a president who took away 1 million people's collective bargaining rights in our government. So yes, I'm very proud.
There are dozens of Democrat candidates who are not committing to backing Jeffries. Are you?
I think that if we are able to win back the House, then the Minority Leader Jeffries deserves to be Speaker. Absolutely, he does.
Got it. All right, thank you.
And if y'all lose it, then whew, it's a wrap for all of y'all. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get some of the guys in on this one. All right, shout out to my man Tristan, Monty, Sid, and Gamer, the original Gamer. All right, guys. So what y'all think so far about the Dems sinking themselves?
I feel like a lot of them are putting their own foot in their mouth. I mean, you have like what y'all just said. You have Democrats writing books admitting, like, yeah, he. You know, you had one Democrat saying, like, she barely saw him, and when she did, she wasn't really allowed to speak to them, and how she had to, like, curate some of his questions. And I'm not saying this is in her book. But then you got them going on TV and lying I can't hear you guys.
Huh?
Monty, take your
Whoa.
muzzle off. That is crazy. Yeah, fuck Biden.
Hey,
But I think
dipshit, I've been fucking muted this whole time. It's your shitty ass mic. Fuck off.
what I
Whoa,
think is
bro.
Okay.
what I think is crazy is Monty called me a dumbass, and then I called him a name, and he fucking ran and super chatted you to try to get me kicked. This guy is a fucking pussy, bro, and he can't
All
talk
right,
about
guys. God damn it, guys.
We tried.
Look, these two go at it. I mean, it's just look, when you get them by themselves, the coolest people. But when they get together, it's just like they continuously go at each other.
Okay.
Like, all right, guys, like, come on now. We got to find some type of stability where you two can say sorry. Y'all start off on a new foot, and y'all just agree to try to be civil, without cussing each other out. Like, come on, let's just try to use respectful language towards each other for the one time, guys. Just try for me. Just try for me. I would appreciate that. But Tristan, before I bring these two back up, I do want to get your opinion. Tristan, whoop.
He's muted. He got himself muted.
Okay, yeah, you got self muted. I just seen that. All right then. All right. Well, let me bring these two back. All right. Let me
I
bring
would
these
say
two.
what they did to Biden is elder abuse because somebody should be man enough or woman enough to like press charges because there ain't no way. I mean, to a certain extent, you have to feel bad for them because with people with dementia, I mean, you could tell he wasn't there and he was trying his best. But what I did find hilarious though was on his way out the door, he handed Kamala Harris an absolute crap show, lit every possible fuse he could, and was like, answer them questions.
All right, guys. Now, before you guys get back into it, okay, can we just look like guys? Just try to wipe the slate clean. Let's try to have a respectful debate with no name calling, and let's see if we can do. Yes.
I truly would love to. It's not gonna happen, dude. This guy is so insecure. I'm gonna check out.
We couldn't even last 5 seconds, Set. 5 seconds.
All right,
5 seconds.
I got something for this thing. I know what I can do. I'm just gonna have to like put you guys up one at a time, so you guys don't go too hard on each other.
I mean, I have no problem being called names. I have no problem being yelled at. But if he's gonna sit here and ask and demand for respect and then call me a bitch in the next breath, like what obligation do I have to be nice to someone that's continuously?
I called you a bitch because you called me a dumbass, idiot.
Because you said no driving. Like what? Like drive? What do you? You're insinuating that I'm driving, which you tried to get Set kicked off the air last time because you thought I was driving then. Like, get over yourself, man. You're just here to cause problems, and that's all that happens.
Somebody said fire and water.
Yeah, I'm the fucking water that puts out his fire. He's got fire crotch. He's probably got too many STDs eating at his brain. He doesn't know what's going on.
Whoa.
Okay.
All right.
And that is where all right, I get what I have to do. We'll just swap you guys out. So first off, we're gonna start with, don't worry, Sid, I'll bring you right back. Monty. So what do you think about this whole, them sinking themselves with their own literature?
I mean, I've been prophesizing it, and I mean, it's not really prophesizing. Everybody can see the writing on the wall. I'm just reading it. It's been happening for years and years and years. There's only so long you can play the race card. There's only so long you can play the ism card. There's only so long you can basically shut down any debate by being an asshole, Sid, before people start to wake up. And you look like fools when the lights shine on you. That's why they want control over all of the media. That's why they want control over what you think. That's why they have control over all the universities, so they can create their own, say it with me, echo chamber that and now the reality is setting in because there's been a light shined on it for the past 10 years and people are tired of it. People are wondering why their houses are twice as expensive as they were, 4 years ago. People are wondering why, they were shut down in their houses for 3 years over basically what equates to a flu. People wonder why all of these things are happening to them, and they're correlating that with democratic control, and it's coming tumbling down. That's why they're getting meaner. That's why they're getting more aggressive. That's why they're getting violent. That's why they call people names. That's why they lash out. That's why they come onto streams and try to derail conversations. That's all it is. They're losing control, and they don't like it. The system does not like it.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so I was late to the party here. Sid, I got a question for you.
Wait, well, Sid actually left. I wanted to bring him back on, but he left.
I was gonna say if he's gonna address Sid directly, then I was gonna say you can pop me out. But if he just left, well,
I was gonna cook. I was gonna cook for a minute.
Go, you can still do it. He's still listening. He'll pop in. He'll pop in 5 more minutes.
All right, so Sid, this is what I gotta say to you. You say Guard isn't being deployed to red states, right? I have friends that live in Memphis right now, where their kids are able to go outside for the first time in 10 years. 10 years without somebody shooting a goddamn gun at somebody. Excuse my language.
And Sid is back.
Without somebody shooting a gun at somebody.
All right, Sid.
That's a red city. That's a red state, blue city. Why is it all the problems are blue cities? Why is all the most violent parts of the United States blue cities?
You're not wrong. What? That makes no
Sid,
sense.
Sid, get closer to your mic.
That's where the most people are.
In blue
Because
cities?
that's where the most people are, is what you're saying. Okay, but
So
what's mostly the demographic? Hold on. What is mostly the demographic of a blue city?
Hold on, Sid. We can barely hear you. Get closer to your mic or something.
All right, hold on. Can you hear me at all?
Mic check. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Well, the most crime happens where the most people are. Believe it or not. But
All right, so he says the numbers thing instead of it being a blue city thing. I disagree with that.
The most crime happens in red states. I live in Montana. A ton of crime.
You're saying the most crime. Hold on. You're saying the most crime happens in red states? That is false. That is false. That is false. Because I live in Pittsburgh. I live in Pennsylvania, and we're a flop state, either blue or red. And I can promise you this. Pennsylvania is more dangerous than Montana. Promise you that. And it's a swing state. Doesn't matter.
We have a higher homicide rate per capita.
Montana's pretty safe, my dude.
That's false. I could promise you Philly has a higher homicide rate than Montana.
Maybe by numbers, but not per capita.
What?
Well, actually, if we go per capita, the highest crime state is New Mexico.
Yeah.
Which is a blue state.
And then the second would be Louisiana. Then third is Mississippi. Then fourth is Washington. Fifth, Alaska. Then sixth is Tennessee.
Alaska
but at the top of the list, though, for some reason, is a blue state. But then you got red. Washington would be considered blue. And then Alaska, I believe, is red as well. So is Tennessee.
Okay, and one more thing, Sid. You want to say that the Guard isn't being deployed, right, to red states?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You did say that. You said Trump is not deploying the Guard to red states. You did say that.
You said it right after I read the powers of the president for National Guard.
Okay. Trump deployed the Guard to Memphis, which is one of the most dangerous cities in a red state, run by a blue mayor who doesn't give a absolute shit for the American people. You can say that mayor cares. That mayor does not give a absolute dog crap. And it is being proven. Look at Johnson. Look at Johnson from Chicago. The South Side and West Side are asking for help because of the violence that they are dealing with on a daily basis. the gun violence, the violence in general, and he won't do a single thing but line his pockets with money he's getting from putting illegals in his state.
All right, Sid, go ahead and Sid, you can go to respond to that.
Oh yeah, my response would be, why didn't the Republican governor of Tennessee deploy the National Guard? Why did the president?
Sid, you need to get closer to your mic. You sound like you're
Because
1,000 feet away.
he said, why did the governor, send in the National Guard and why not the president?
No, I said why didn't the governor?
Okay.
Why didn't the governor?
Okay, you're right.
Because Trump took it upon himself to send the guard in because he realized that Memphis is a danger.
So was the governor just dumb or what?
All right, so let me step in right there. So the president or the governor can do it if they feel like it needs to be done. It's not a hierarchical thing. It's based off of what the needs of the people are.
Why didn't the governor feel like it needed to be done?
Fair question.
But all right, guys. Now hold on. Now, Sid. Before I'm gonna have to remove you real quick, and Monty wants to give an answer. All right, Monty, what's going on?
So if you remember, the president cleared it with the governor, and the governor was completely fine with it. You get more federal funding when the president does it because he federalizes the National Guard and puts all the logistics in place to do it. Also, your service members that actually get deployed get better benefits because now they've been federalized. But that's neither here nor there. The Sid is just trying to poke holes in any argument that he can because he knows the greater crux of the argument is completely against the left. It's completely against, and he likes to point out, per capita, there's 10 people in Montana. So when one of them gets killed by homicide, that's 10% of the population that just died. Now, obviously, there's not 10 people in Montana, but you get my point. The lower numbers are going to look worse on paper. So that's why they like to use per capita statistics. It doesn't change the fact that I've never had anything stolen from me in my life living in any red state, but within 3 months of moving to a blue state, I had my truck broken into and everything ripped out of it, including my firearm, while I was waiting to fucking check in at a gun range. So this idea that blue cities are just safe and the only reason the crime statistics look worse is because there's more people in them. Yeah, there's more people in them, and they're also run by Democrats.
And all right, hold on, Monty, before you go off a little bit, or you go off too much, I gotta give Sid. Do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I live in Montana. I live in a city that has more than 100,000 people in it. So Monty is totally off base when he says only 10 people live in here. But, I'm sorry to hear what happened to him. But yeah, crime happens. Crime happens everywhere. And we all agree that the price of liberty, sometimes you have to pay in death, in pain. Even Charlie Kirk recognized this when he said, yeah, I want more lax gun ownership. I want more freedom with gun ownership, even if it means children dying in school shootings. And I have that same mindset when it comes to crime.
All right, so you reject the argument that Monty put forward where he's saying that, well, if red states got less people, I mean, 2 people dying in a red state is like on the notion of per capita is going to look a whole lot more bigger than, 2 people dying in a highly populated, blue state.
Wait. Before you answer, I do.
Per capita is how all stats are done. So, I mean, it's just normal, right? Like, of course, per capita makes sense. It's not always by numbers. If there's 100,000 people and 10 die, or if there's 2 people and 1 die, I mean, yeah, the place where there was 2 people and 1 die is more violent.
Okay.
So I do want to respond to something that's growing in the chat, and it's not nothing to do against any one of y'all. It's just something I'm noticing in the chat, just the general chat. You guys realize that you don't have to be born and raised in Chicago to have an opinion on Chicago. I made a comment earlier on in the evening about how St. Louis is like 3 hours or so from Chicago. Somebody got pissed off, said, oh, it's actually 4, but that doesn't change the fact that we have people swapping cities every once in a while. We can generally say, hey, Chicago is a great city, but it's having a crime issue. Just like we don't have to be like, oh, I have to live in San Diego for me to be like, hey, San Diego's a homeless hellscape right now.
Yeah, sure. You don't have to live there. I agree with that. But
And
also,
I'm just addressing it to the chat because that's kind of some of the position they're taking. And it's kind of annoying, I ain't gonna lie.
no, I got you, sir, and I agree.
Hey,
All right, hold on, guys, hold on. Shout out to Tove. How you doing, sis?
Hey, I'm doing. Just wanted to pop in for just a quick second.
All right, and her first time up here.
I will say real quick though to the guy that just said that about Chicago and all these other cities, we're experiencing like a 30-year low in crime in these cities.
how are you guys experiencing a 30-year crime low level when you guys just had 70 some or 80 some people shot this past weekend?
Because in the 90s,
Can you answer that? How is Chicago experiencing a crime low when they had 70 or I think it was 70 or 80 people shot this weekend?
Now hold on. Now I do got to let Monty respond to Sid because these guys.
So okay,
hey, are we gonna let Tove talk real quick? Since this is
Tove, did you want to? Oh,
the only thing I just wanted to say, hun, I've been listening to you guys going for a while now. Not just on this one, but in other shows. But Sid Shook, you are picking just to pick. You are arguing just to argue.
he knows. He knows. That's why he's doing it on purpose. He knows what he's doing. Like he's not ignorant to the fact that
You do make some good points. You really do. But then when you get called out or you get pointed out that something you said is wrong, you do not concede. You refuse to. You are not willing to open your mind. Trust me, I was on the left for years.
Well, we got a bet.
But
sure, you ain't gotten to the point where you are picking the pick. That's all I wanted to say.
I mean, he said as much in the private chat. He's just here to bust up our echo chamber and our circle jerk. So he has no respect for any of our arguments. He just wants to be the voice of dissent and think he's getting a quip on somebody.
So I got a question for Sid. Sid, do you believe that Trump's a king? And answer me that question. and no, I want his response because I'm going to give him this. Sid, do you think Trump is a king?
No, I don't.
Okay, if you were going to say yes, I said, do you think a king would allow anybody to protest against them?
No.
Exactly. Trump is no king, and that argument that he's trying to be a king, no. He was elected by popular vote in the Electoral College. That is no king.
Okay, real quick.
But you wanting to argue and try to fight, say Trump is violating Constitution. He has not violated a single thing under the Constitution. Deport illegals? He can do that. He has the rights to deport people.
All right, now let's go ahead and let Sid respond. So Sid, what you got to say?
Okay, first, this is going to be real quick. I just want to point out there are, including you, 4 people in this chat that are all against me, okay? And all have a thing with me. And so I'm going to be a little bit flustered about that, a little bit, combative. But the idea of no kings was, Trump is a king, and Trump needs to stop being a king. The idea was that he wants to be a king, and we're not going to let him. That was the idea.
Okay, gotcha. So okay, and so just to clarify, Sid does not believe Donald Trump is a king, but he do believe that he's trying to act, or he's acting like one, not one, but acting. Okay, I hear what you're saying. But all right, guys. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Let's go ahead and get back to the show on this one because we spent a while on that.
I have an interesting question before we go, and this is for S.E.T mostly.
I'm going to respond to Sid with that. Sid, if you think he's trying to act like a king, why is he trying to go to these governors and mayors and say, hey, let me help you fix your city? If he was trying to be a king, he would just arrest these mayors, arrest these governors, and have his way.
Well, we're not in a place where
He has not done that. He has gone to them time and time and time again. And because they are Democrats, they hate him. They are sanctuary city lovers. They fucking feed off of the fucking hate they have for this man. And he has offered them time and time again to help them. While their people are getting killed, or there are people being molested or raped by illegals, or anything along that line, they allow it to happen because I feel the Democrats get a kick out of it.
All right, guys. Now I do want gamer. Can you go ahead and get the closing statement on this one? Because I know you've been trying to speak for a little bit.
Yeah. So I just had a question about the This wasn't about the topic, but I did have a question. Like, I did want to know if I'd be able to like share this stream, because I'm also trying to grow like a platform like this. Because, like I said, I appreciate this type of content, and I got a pretty decent sized following, so I just wanted to ask, like, yo, if it's all right with you, like, will I ever be allowed to like share the stream?
I mean, yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I mean, if you need to want to cut it up or anything like that, I mean, so go ahead. I have no problem. Shoot, I won't say, hey, if a copyright strike gets hit with you, let me know. I'll go ahead and I'll take it off because YouTube does it automatically.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to ask that so like I could probably work on something with you that way. I'd never have to worry about that. But yeah, that was it.
I have one thing to say as well before you restart. And I have a question because I'm gonna bounce out, but before the last time I talked, the other guy was responding to me, so I was just wondering if I could respond and then dip and go to bed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this guy was saying that he's going on this thing about how Trump is not a king. I've already agreed with that. I think Trump wants to be a king. I don't think that we live in or are set up in a country where he can automatically be a king and start arresting and jailing all of his political enemies immediately. But he said he would have, if Trump wanted to be a king, he would have already been arresting the mayors and arresting the governors. Well, he's already called for that. He's called for the arrest of Pritzker. He's called for the arrest of Newsom. He's called for the arrest of the mayor of Chicago.
He called for their arrest because the dereliction of duty and them not doing their jobs, and the state being a failed state.
All right, now hold on. Now wait, Sid, are you done?
I wasn't quite done, but you know what? I do gotta get hit the hay here. I like talking to y'all, except for Monty. He's a fucking bitch, but.
God damn it. God damn it, Sid. God damn it. Good night, Sid. I appreciate you for coming up.
Sorry
the guy,
about that,
God
Seth.
damn it. You're good, brother. You're good.
That last grenade out.
No, Seth. The reason why he's calling for the arrest of the mayor and governor is they are not doing their job. They are not quelling the violence. They are feeding the violence. They are telling people to attack federal agents and to attack the federal government. That is dereliction of duty, and that is turning your state into a failed state. If you look up what the dereliction of duty is, and if a governor or mayor fails to do their job, the president can remove them.
But all right, now since now Monty, I do gotta go ahead and let you get closing statement on this one.
I don't even know what to say. Like we all know what it is. Sid's like, oh, there's 5 people against me. I'm so battered. Like, yeah, dude, because you're the one that's wrong and you're trying to be right. And it just doesn't work. So you're getting emotional and you're calling people names because you can't handle being wrong. Like, and it really has nothing to do with Sid. That is the position of the left. That is what they think. They act like there's some oppressed people that are just, really just sticking it to the power, nothing's happening to any of these people. Like, you're allowed to go riot in the streets. You're allowed to go burn cities down. You're allowed to shoot our people. You're allowed to attack us. You're allowed to dox us. You're allowed to do all of these things, and it's no big deal. But the second someone says, hey, maybe we don't want 80 gun deaths in a weekend in a city in America, I don't care where you live in America, this is one country with many states. So when one country with many states has one of their many states going into complete turmoil, the leader of that one united country absolutely, morally, ethically, constitutionally has the right to stop it. Like, does anybody have any problem with that other than the radical left?
Yeah, that is the wild part about this. I don't know. Like I said, it seems anything to try to make Trump seem like he's acting like, oh, it's unprecedented, unconstitutional. And it's like, no.
They're just saying buzzwords because that's what conservatives have said about Obama for the 8 years that he was in office, because everything he did was unconstitutional. Like forcing people to buy things, and then Biden comes along, forcing people to stay in their houses, fucking basically instituting martial laws over a fucking flu. Like, you sit here and you're okay with it because you buy the Kool-Aid, you buy the bullshit, and 2 weeks to stop the spread turns into 4 years. Like, when are people going to wake up? And I venture to say people are waking up now, and the Democratic Party is in shambles. That's originally what this panel was about. Why is the Democratic Party, basically flustering and flailing in the water? Because of this, because of people that just bury their heads in the sand and go along to get along. They're not burying their heads in the sand, and they're saying, you know what? I'm tired of this. This is bullshit. This is not how we operate as a country. We have to have laws. We have to have consequences for crime. We need to have a force that can protect its people. If the Chicago Police Department can't stop gang violence, which they have all the funding to do it, because they have the funding to do it, and they choose not to because it goes to bullshit unions. It goes to things that are just all bureaucracy and lining your pockets with shit. So you have a police force that's crippled and a city that's going down the shitter. Mind you, the city is filled with minorities. So you want to sit here and claim to be a champion for minorities, Democratic Party, while letting them kill each other?
All right, and we're going to leave it at that one. Monty,
or not coming to their aid when they ask, because there's plenty of video circulating.
Exactly.
People in Chicago being like, hey, we want change, and the idiot mayor just stands there. And
he stands there with a dumb look on his face. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him just standing there. And he's like,
But all right, guys. All right, though. Let's go ahead and get right back into it. I'll bring you guys back on right after this video is done. All right, man. Shout out. All right, now that's always fun. All right, guys, let's get right into it.
The Blackjack Buffet boss.
Oh, in some of these super chats, because definitely was missing. Shout out Tove, because she says, y'all gotta go. My Southern mama out waiting. So shout out Tove. We appreciate you for pulling up. Shout out Monty. So I literally get to respond to Sid. Don't worry, Monty. You know I got you in the end, dog. You know I got you in the end. And shout out to Tove. She says, sorry, Suge, but Sid reminds me way too much of myself 15 years ago, and not in a good way either. Ah, man, wait, we can all learn a little something from our past ways or our younger self. And shout out Sid. Keep tampons in the chat for Monty. And of course he would do it. Of course, he couldn't help himself. I mean, both of y'all can't help yourselves at this point. All right, let's get right back into it.
Leading protests in Illinois for Saturday's No Kings March during the day. But by night, the real agitators in his state came out to play, causing chaos outside that ICE facility near Chicago. At least 30 protesters arrested for rioting. President Trump's not giving up on restoring order, vowing to save Democrat cities. He says San Fran's next and is toying with the I word to get it done.
We're going to go to... I would just say, like, if Brandon Johnson's serious about that ICE-free zone, yeah, Insurrection Act is coming up right after that, because you are literally cutting out a part of American land to make a lawless immigration zone. And who's going to protect it? what, the Chicago police? I mean, isn't that the biggest slap in the face? Man, and shout out Tove. She's like, they can, they don't want to. I mean, yeah, trust me. Nobody want to reflect on their younger self sometimes, because boy, man, you sit there and get embarrassed. Like the stupidity that I used to think in my younger 20s. Oh my God, it's embarrassing even today.
San Francisco, the